Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. What a beautiful, beautiful day it is out here. Just absolutely fabulous. I can hear like all the tweeting birds and the wind, and it just feels absolutely amazing. And I sure hope you had a fabulous July 4th weekend. And guys, listen, I planned to get a video out last night, but we were just enjoying the family so much and barbecuing and stuff. And then we went out and we were watching the fireworks and everything like that. And there we were on the way home. My golf cart that we took down to the lake there to see the fireworks, the batteries pooped out on us. What's interesting about that is I had just put in an order there last week to get, the lithium phosphate battery because I'm doing all that conversion and stuff like that. Well, needless to say, the batteries actually just kind of crapped out on us last night, and we kind of broke down almost at home. Well, my neighbor, who also had his golf cart out and was at the fireworks with us, he just gave us an amazing solid, and he just towed us the rest of the way back home. So by the time I got home, I thought, you know what? It's 4th of July. I'm just going to forego doing a video for tonight. But I'll tell you guys, today we have a great one planned for you. Now, having said all that, the article that I was reading today is a major, major deal. Think of this. So the article I was reading has to do with gold and its relationship to the national debt, the U.S. national debt. And what we're seeing in the gold price right now, around that $1,900 mark? Really, guys, in actual fact, when you talk about physical demand, gold should probably be over $10,000 an ounce. Absolutely, don't doubt that. 100%, that's what I think what we should be seeing. And silver should be over $250 an ounce in my opinion. But we know that these markets utilizing, the paper market, the ETF market for gold, completely manipulated the gold price. And we've seen bullion prices get manipulated in times past. I think it was JP Morgan had to pay like hundreds of millions of dollars a fine because they got nailed on manipulating the silver market, something like that. Anyway, in this article, and this is absolutely staggering when you try to digest these numbers. Back in 1970, the U.S. national debt was around $370 million. 53 years later, guys, it's over 31 trillion. That is absolutely mind-boggling. Can you imagine in just 53 short years going from 370 million to over 31 trillion in debt? That is absolutely insane. If we do that over the next 50 years, should Jesus tarry, the national debt will be into the multiple quadrillions of debt if you saw the same percentage move. It is totally insane. And here we are, they just had this Fiscal Responsibility Act. Now, come on, calling it a Fiscal Responsibility Act is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me, because the reality is there's no responsibility whatsoever. Here they are printing another $4 trillion to the debt. Now, when you think about that, what was the price of gold back in 1970s there, because of course that was the Nixon era when I think it was 71, 72 that he absolutely took the U.S. off of the gold standard totally, completely. And I think we watched the price of gold go from around that $30, $50 range up to, I don't know, by the 80s there, it was like $800 an ounce. And of course it came back down, whatever. But when you think of the national debt at 370 million to 31 trillion, I'm telling you, the 1 ounce of gold should be well over $10,000. But it's not, and it's not because of the way the markets are manipulated in this world. It's absolutely obscene. But guys, that tells you a lot, doesn't it? It tells you that they are marching us literally towards an eventual cliff when this whole fiat system is going right down the tubes, and it's done with intention. You cannot create that much debt in literally a generation, 53 years? Look, I'm 55. I was born in 67. Right? So in my lifetime, we watched the U.S. national debt climb to those degrees is absolutely ridiculous. And you cannot print that kind of dough and think that somehow you're not going to see some inflationary result, and they're literally collapsing the system. Now, having said that, what are they collapsing it into? Do you think that they haven't thought this one through? Guys, they know what they're doing. They are ending this current fiat system. They're going to move us into a new digital economy with the central bank digital currencies in a powerful way. And you are going to watch over the next literally 5 to 10 years. And in fact, I think by 2025, we are going to see a lot of nations around the world implement their central bank digital currencies, and it's going to be on like Donkey Kong like no tomorrow. And having said that, guys, think about this. What is going to be? How will the world work when we are in a totally digital economy in a major way? I mean, you're going to be dealing with your money, the evolution of money, that's big for sure. But then you got your digital IDs, don't you? Then you got all your health care, your educational information, ownership of property actually on the distributed ledger technology. You got Larry Fink from BlackRock coming out there telling everybody that the next evolution of these markets is the tokenization of securities. Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, literally trillions of dollars of value a day going through that organization. Literally last year, they just signed up with R3 Corda for instant settlement and utilizing distributed ledger technology. And ask yourself this, guys, what does R3 Corda use for instant settlement? They use XDC and they use XRP. Boom. I'm telling you, we are going to see something happen that generations have not seen and would have wanted to see in their day. This is going to be absolutely amazing way in which things are going to, transition. Now, think about this too. To kind of get a gauge of how quickly these technological changes are going to be implemented. On this device that I'm speaking to you on right now, this iPhone here, recording to you, I can record on this thing in 4K if you can buy that. Needless to say, in 2007, none of this existed. Not one of these smartphones existed. They came out, first iPhone came out in 2007. And here we are, guys, really not that much further down the road, are we? And look at the advancements in the technology that you can literally hold in your hand. Now, when I was a kid and I was mesmerized by the computer that my dad gave me, one of those Timex Sinclairs, if you can believe it, the first one I got, all that kind of stuff, completely mesmerized. No one in their right mind at that moment fathomed that we would be holding devices as powerful as what we are in the palms of our hands. Now, those of us that can remember when you were a kid and there you were watching Leroy Jetson's, looking at his little wristwatch, phone there, watching the Flintstones on it. Well, hey, here we are, right? I remember the day when we literally, it was a fantasy that we could actually phone someone and talk to them face to face over the phone. That was absolute science fiction. Guys, listen, it can happen and it's going to happen, and it could happen faster than most of us can even conceive, and it will be seamless for the majority of people. How much disruption did these whole cell phones and all this technology that we got now do? Practically no disruption, didn't it? It made life more convenient. In fact, it created social networks that could not even have been imagined to exist literally a decade before we had the technology. And of course, all the social media. I mean, you got communities around the world that transcend borders. That wasn't even thought of. Guys, for those that weren't around, when we were kids, we were all living like Napoleon Dynamite. We were dragging our, everyone had a 50-foot cord for their phone. And boy, if you were real lucky, you had a cordless phone later on. That was a big deal. Hey, when cell phone technology came out, there were people that were trying to pretend they had it by buying little stick-on antennas that they would stick onto their cars to make believe they actually had a cell phone in there. But that's what was going on. And somebody out there figured, hey, I can make a buck because people's egos, right? And sure enough, that's what went down. Guys, you are going to see this technology take over the world in a powerful way and fast. And as a result, look, those of us that are in this space really, really early on, wow, I'll tell you what, that is why I believe that we will see generational wealth and probably the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. That is why, because it's going to revolutionize the world in ways we cannot yet imagine, okay? I mean, when you think of banking, the unbanked alone, wow, that is going to be massive. And guys, what we're dealing with here, when we read these articles about, national debt going from 370 million to 31 point some trillion, you got to ask yourself, in 53 years, these guys, hey, when they actually design a plan, they don't design a plan like, oh, 5 and 10 years. They literally will look at it from 100 years out. 53 years, it's all part of a plan, guys. We are being transitioned into this new digital economy. Do not kid yourself. It is going to happen, and it's going to happen amazingly fast. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. I sure hope you're having a great week. Hey, it's hump day and the middle of the week, and we got the rest of it to go. And I'm telling you, it looks like it's going to gear up for a good one. Hopefully, we're going to be able to see some amazing weather for the rest of this week. I'll tell you, in Texas here, it has been extremely hot. And needless to say, I want to get out there and do my walkabouts with you and for you and stuff like that. But until later on today, guys, we have that great video to deliver to you. I sure hope you have a great one, and take care.